Good morning. So today, we are going to answer past bar exam 2024 in labor law and social legislation. The question is, on May 31, 2024, the collective bargaining agreement between Gretel Corporation Incorporated GCI and Gretel Labor Union GLU expired. After several negotiations, GCI and GLU signed a new collective bargaining agreement on August 31, 2024. Which obliged the company to pay a wage increase in favor of the employees. GLU then demanded salary differential starting June 1, 2024. However, GCI signed that the provisions of the new collective bargaining agreement as to the wage increase shall be prospective in application beginning August 31, 2024, when shall the salary increase be reckoned. Explain. Answer. It shall reckon during August 31, 2024. In Union of Filipino Workers UFW versus National Labor Commissions and Makati Sports Club, GR number 98111, April 7, 1993 states, public respondent in LRC also held that the retroactivity of said grant of January on January 1989 is of no moment and does not, to our mind, alter the intendment of the parties when they entered into the agreement or crediting in question. Besides, regardless of the provision of Republic Act number 6727, the CBA of the parties have effectively become the law between themselves. The CBA wage increase having been granted on June 23, 1989, or within the period for crediting, as expressly provided in said CBA, we find that private respondent correctly credited the CBA wage increase to comply with the mandate of the Republic Act 6727 for a 25 peso daily wage increase. Further, the effectivity of the retrenchment as found by two labor arbiter could not have been June 30, 1989. At the very least, it could have been July 22, 1989 or 1 month after the retrenchment notice was filed with the DOLE. Hence, the basis for the computation of separation pay should be the basic pay of retrenched workers as of July 22, 1989. Furthermore, private respondent is ordered to recompute the separation pay of the retrenched employees using basic pay as of July 22, 1989 as basis subject to the crediting of the CBA monthly wage increase of 300 pesos, no pronouncement as to cost. So ordered. So, in the same light, Silva versus NLRC instructs that for a ULP case to be cognizable by the labor arbiter and the NLRC to exercise its appellate jurisdiction, the allegations in the complaint should show prima facie the concurrence of two things, namely, 1. Gross violation of the CBA, and 2. The violation pertains to the economic provisions of the CBA. GR number 1110,226, June 19, 1997, 274, SCRA 159, 173. For violation of CBA to constitute ULP, the violation must be a violation of its economic provisions. Moreover, said violation must be gross and flagrant. Based on the allegations of the union, what was violated was the maintenance of the membership was political provision. Hence, the ULP was committed. BPI Employees Union Davao City versus BPI, GR number 174,912, 24 July 2013. Lastly, voluntary arbitrators has jurisdiction over unresolved disputes arising from CBA interpretation of or implementation, and over such other dispute as may be expressly conferred by a CBA similar agreement. Article 274 Labor Code, Vivero vs. AGR number 138,938, 24 October 2000. So that's it. That's my answer for number 13 in the past bar exam 2024 in labor law and social legislation. So thank you for watching. Good karma can be with you. Or not just for watching and listening, but uh, comprehending if our answers will coincide. Thank you. Good day. God bless. And have a perfect day. Thank you.